Hello, welcome, good morning. If this is your first time here, welcome to According to Courtney. I'm Courtney West. I'm a full spectrum doula, doula advocate, birth nerd, junkie, all the things. Oh, I'm like on cloud nine right now. They just like changed up my theme music. I'm like, oh, I love it. 2026. So today I want to tell you we have like a really special type of According to Courtney. As a birth worker, it's so needed but rare that you get to sit with other birth workers and just talk shop and talk about your favorite birth story. So I wanted to bring two amazing doulas into space that I just really love and cherish to come into space and let's like talk birth worker shop today. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello, beautiful day.
Beautiful day, ladies. Welcome to According to Courtney. I love to have familiar faces and new faces in this space. Hey, Miss Tracy, how you doing?
I'm doing.
I feel you. I feel you. We're going to get into that today. And so, for my first time having in the space, welcome Miss Frankella. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm great today. Great and blessed for sure.
I'm so glad to hear it. So, welcome to According to Courtney. On this show, I always love to ask new guests to tell us a little bit about yourself. I always like to know what is your name and the origin of your name, where are you from, where your people are from, and then what would you like to leave in the space today?
So, my name is Frankella Orberry. I wouldn't say that I typically know the origin of my name. I will say Frankella is a derivative of my father, whose name was Frank, and my grandmother named me after him. So, it's a made up name. So, probably shouldn't be any other Frankellas around except me.
I
I'm
love that.
a unique person. Originally, I'm from Albany, New York. Um, so I was born and raised between Albany, New York, and New York City. Majority of my family, both on the maternal and paternal side, migrated to the north during the Great Migration, so in the 30s. And they hail from very different places: Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, and Florida.
I love it. I love it. And Frank Keller, what would you want to leave in this space today?
Um, I would like to leave in this space a chance for people to learn something new, not just about myself, but about the birthing world, and hopefully encourage them in whatever um, direction their life is going.
Oh, that's so powerful. Miss Tracy, I know you're not new to our space, but to the people who may be new to us, can you give them a little taste of who you are?
I am an herbalist, educator, and doula. The orders switch depending upon what I've been called to do at any specific time. I don't know. You want me to answer all those lovely
No, no,
questions?
no. So you can give the synopsis. Miss Tracy's been with us quite a few times, and if you want the whole, you can watch the other ones that she's been in and get the full thing. That work.
Awesome, awesome.
I love.
Um, what I will say, what I'd like to leave in the space today, because I think as the identities shift, what I want to leave is different. I'd like to leave today a space of openness to the possibility of Black birthing futures.
Mm.
Black birthing futures.
That's so powerful and so loaded in so many different ways because we should, in birth, we all, especially as Black birth workers, see what Black birth is, but what it could be. And how do you get there can be really powerful and how you have to move in that, but it's not easy. Definitely not easy. So, ladies, I wanted to have you guys in the space today and have something we are actually work with Tracy and are in class with Tracy, learning about pregnancy and herbalism, and we started having this great conversation about postpartum and what doulas do and the things that come with that. And I wanted to be able to bring some of that in this space and ask you about Tracy. You coined it as doula story time, and I was like, that's so awesome. We should so have doula story time. And I wanted to just like have spaces with you guys to be like, what was doula story time like for you guys? I kind of want to start with Tracy because I know you just coming off quite a bit of a quite a bit.
Yes, for sure.
What does doula story time mean to me? I have a lot of identities because I'm old. And I'm kind of embracing that. Like a lot of times when people say, "Oh, don't say that," and we used to call older women wise women, auntie. The crone in European lore is that older woman who is still sassy, but she has this lived experience, and so part of my identity is that of storyteller. And I used to tell stories at different cultural centers in New York because I'm a Brooklyn girly. Love my Florida roots and love that I'm living in Florida, but shout outs to Brooklyn. And all of my cultural institutions like Brooklyn Museum, Brooklyn Public Library, and then a lot of the Manhattan ones like the Schomburg Institute for African American Studies, I used to go there and I used to tell stories, some to adults, some to children. And a lot of the stories that I used to tell were folk tales and fables, but also a lot of different life stories that people told me. And I found that what would happen was kind of a healing. And I think that a lot of doulas bring, just like a lot of teachers and a lot of healers of every kind, there's this archetype of the wounded healer. Like we bring our trauma to the work that we do. And so I've presented on like folk tales as a healing, storytelling as a healing practice. And I think for doulas, the ability to get together with other birth workers and other doulas, specifically other midwives specifically, and talk about this work that we do, the highs, the lows, things we've learned, things we're not good at but are getting better. Because I don't think that there's ever a there. You could be awesome for where you are right now, and then something could happen, and you'll be like, "Oh, snap! I never even thought that I needed to get better at that." So I think this in education they call it praxis, like this practice together with your like the knowledge, the literature, the certification, the education, like bringing that together, and as Black people do, letting that be a soul healing space or Black and brown people, that our talk is everything. So that's kind of what I want to say.
I love that. I love that. Frankel, what do you think? What is doula story time? What is that for you?
Well, I love to piggyback off of something Tracy said about being in a space where we're surrounded by other doulas and being able to share experiences with each other. I think naturally, as part of the Pan-African diaspora, we are natural grids, right? We are naturally telling stories, and not just stories about birth, but stories that heal us. So telling birth stories not only heal us, but it puts us in a place of learning. I learned a lot of my things, not a lot of things I learned about birth, I didn't learn in when I was taking classes to become a doula and become certified, right? I learned them from other doulas who were seasoned. And those seasoned doulas, one in particular for sure, who's also from New York, who always kind of left her door open for all questions. I mean, I could be in the middle of a birth and I could pick up the phone and explain to her what I was, something I had never experienced or seen before. And she could, in real time, give me advice on moving forward. And something I have yet to experience being out in Florida, besides being in conjunction with the two of you in our class, is doula gatherings where doulas come together and really just not just enjoy each other's company and food, but just come together and talk about our experiences so that we can be better at what we do in serving our mothers and fathers in conjunction with bringing life into the world, bringing a new spirit into the world, and how that helps them grow, but also helps us grow. And I've been watching birth since, I want to say the first birth I saw was mine. And
Mm.
of course, it was my own brother, who is now 41. And I remember the first time just watching birth and being a little girl, and I was like, I want to be a midwife. Like that's what I want to be. And then watching two more of my brothers being born, and the last one who was born, for years I would just sit and tell him his birth story because I knew it from start to finish.
Mm.
And watching nieces being born and even giving birth to my own children. And I just think those stories are things that sometimes we may not write about them, but they definitely need to be shared so that we understand that everybody's story is different, but it's yours. And it's yours to own that birthing story.
I love that.
Beautiful.
It is, because it's such a powerful identity. And I think definitely as Black people, Black and brown people, and I know Southern people, you were told your story because that was the imprint of who you are. This is how you came into the world. Like, I knew my birth story before I knew anything. And it always was said the same way. It took you 3 days to get here. It took me, your mama, and your great aunt to bring you into the world. The doctor didn't make it, but the midwife did. And this is who you are and why you are the way you are. And it's always been told that to me. So I thought everybody said, well, what's your birth story? Because that was normal in our household, that she could tell you the birth of each child, because then she'll say, and that's why this one's so hard-headed, because it decided to take this long to come on out. And this one right here, well, she's special because, she was in the call a little too long. You'd be like, wait a minute. But that was just how everyone talked around me, around who a person was based off who their birth was.
I think even now, as a mother, so just from a mothering perspective, when I look at the children I gave birth to, I realize a lot of who they are based on their birth story, how they came into this world. It's like, oh yeah, but you couldn't wait. And still they're that person who, couldn't wait. Or the other one just took her time, and still she just takes her time. She late for everything. She was late coming in. She was late, and she still late. You know what I mean? But
yes.
it sometimes when you think about that in retrospect, thinking about it, that birth shapes who that child is today. Sometimes if we take that into consideration when we're raising our children, we will raise them differently because we realize that they are a different person, that everything that they were come from that one place. So we also know like that also is part of just who they are. That doesn't even come from us, right? Mm-hmm. It's just part of who they are, part of their spirit journey here. And we can nurture that in a better way if we take into account all of the things that culminates into them coming into this earth side.
Powerful. I love that.
It does. It's like it's the vibration. I think Tracy, you had made a point about something that we were just talking about, that this is so important because I feel like with doulas, they've kind of lost that piece of what being a doula is about that camaraderie and speaking and stuff. It's about getting the bag, not about the connection of what this really is. And I feel like that's one, sad and a little and very concerning.
Yeah.
And why do you think it's like, okay, you're coming here, I want to make this bag, I want to make this money, I want to do all this, but if you don't understand the herstory and the womb stories of the people you're dealing with, how are you truly giving care?
I think I'm privileged to talk to a lot of millennials and Gen Z. And I do think it's a privilege. I think a lot of times people think, oh, well, they're just messed up, or they're not this, or they're not that. I think each generation has its very particular energies that they're working with. And, then we have to be on the stage to help the next generation be on the stage. Because the whole point is you got to get off the stage at some time, and then the
Facts.
next generation is up. And I think that social media, although it has a lot of really beautiful, that like we're using it now, right? So there are a lot of really beautiful things that come with social media, and it gives us the ability to create in a way that we never could before, and to reach out and touch people in a way that we never could before, and to in some ways be knowers and creators of content. And I think what has happened with social media on the darker or the shadow side is nobody wants to sit at the feet of elders. So the herstory that you talked about sort of gets lost. You can read about it, but are you experiencing that herstory? IA was talking about like being in birthing since before she was here, right? And that was passed down. And I think we have a lot of disconnection in families where you don't really know what were people doing before your mama, you know? Are there people in your family who this is an enactment of? And if that's not you, don't take that on. Hit dogs, holler. But if this is not you, I'm not talking about you. But there are a lot of people for whom this is true. And we are in that time period all through the 90s to now. And, you know, for those who are on Wall Street and the corporate world, even the 80s, is like making money. I'm gonna get that back, And it's sad that healing has become a part of getting that back. Like healing should sustain you. We're not talking about being that poor righteous teacher or poor righteous healer who don't never have nothing. But what you don't want to see people doing is back to back births that don't allow for learning, edification, connection to ancestral work, connection to familial ancestral work, connection to each other in groups. And so doulas now compete because you don't want nobody to get your client because that's your money. But the reality is whoever's your client is going to come to you anyway.
Facts. There's enough babies being born for everybody. I don't have to compete with you because what I offer, you may not offer. My energy is different than your energy, and that's okay.
When I first came into the doula space so long ago, it's been almost 10 years now. I think one of my issues was that it was all about money. And I think you can't connect to your client when you're thinking about the money. You can't connect on the level that they need, right? Because you're saying, this is the amount of money. I only want to be here for the birth of 12 hours. If you're not delivering in 12 hours, you still have to pay me and then you have to figure it out. Or there were so many doula groups on Facebook, and they were like, the people who are taking clients and not charging or charging a lower rate, you need to stop because it's making us lose money because we're charging these rates. And it was like, oh my gosh, like when I became a doula, in all honesty, it wasn't even about the money. My mother was a doula, and my mother had passed, and my sister got pregnant. And my sister was interviewing doulas, and she said, wait, are you gonna be here when I give birth? And I'm like, absolutely, I'm gonna be here, because my mother had been there for me for both of my births. And so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be there. She's like, yeah, we're not hiring a doula. And the birth of my niece was what catapulted me into becoming a certified doula. And really, being a doula is a labor of love. I don't want to be a doula for someone I'm not connected to, because you're bringing life into this world. So yes, I want to be paid for my work because your gift should make room for you. But I also need to be connected, which is also why you can't take every client.
Yes.
Right? There's also a discernment in that. And deciding, is this person a person I can connect to on a certain level so that I really can support them emotionally? Because people don't realize supporting supporting a baby coming into this world and supporting that mom and dad, you are an emotional support. Yes, you're doing all of the things and the massages and and advocating for them, but there is a level of emotion that comes with that. You are also a healer. You are their pastor in that moment, and you have to connect with them. So it
Say that
can't
again
just
for
be
the ones in the
about
back. Hold on. You gotta like you pinged on it. You like, oh no, come back, run that back. Cause you're the pastor for them.
Mm.
Oof. You're the
you are. You're
healer for
taking it
them.
all.
Spiritual
That's why
hot.
Tracy can say right now she's feeling she has to really bring that energy back into herself because you are giving.
Mm-hmm.
They're paying you, but they're not even paying you what you're worth because you are giving so much of yourself in that moment while they bring life earthside. They're not just bringing life earthside, right? They are also bringing mother earthside because you, especially if it's your first time becoming a mother, you are now becoming a new part of yourself that you didn't even know before.
Preach and be the
Ashe.
Ashe.
Yes.
Oh, fiddle, fifes, strumming, lutes, everything.
All the things. All the
All
things.
the things on
All
that.
the things. That what oof, all you said makes me think about like the origin. What is the origin of doula stories? Because you're really touching it right there because of the work that you're pulling into it. But where'd it come from?
Mm.
What is this? So people understand why it's important.
Mm. My doula origin story was real interesting because it started in the way that all things that I do start, which is that I don't be thinking about it or I don't want to do that. And somebody is like, no, I need you to do that for me. And compared to you two, I'm young in the game. Old in the room and young in the game. I think that's I'm in the game for about 5 years. And the way my story started was I was a yoga practitioner, and one of my yogis, who was one of the favorite classes that I took, just had a real way about her, a very spiritual way. And I think there are some, like I said, like everybody's not your client, right? And so we have some very particular criteria for how we choose. And I had nothing, no criteria, because I just knew her as my yogi. Fabulous woman, Transylvanian. They got a little special something happen over in the Carpathians and the Balkans. Well, the Kardashians. that spirit, it can be for good high vibration or for not good high vibration. And so she approached me. She was in like 30 weeks, and she said, in my country, I was have a doula, and here I don't know. And my husband is away all the time, and I choose you. And I was like, Pokemon, you choose me? Like, why? Like, I don't know. Like, I knew about my own birth. And I knew that my mom had a little bit of a traumatic story around my birth. And so, like you, I also was told about my birth, and that really did inform a lot of my relationship with my mom. And I was able to allow her to be my doula, and I feel like that came full circle and healed a lot of trauma for her. But aside from my own like a little bit rebellious nature in the early 90s, like I'm gonna go back to the ancestral ways of like birthing. I'm gonna have this natural birth. My mother was looking at me like, what? Who do that? Like, we gonna go to the hospital and get bottles and plastic diapers? That's what we gonna do, right? And I was like, no, I'm gonna do cloth diapers. Okay. So, people were talking to me like I was a nut, but it was a movement that was actually, I think, spiritually involved for the ancestors to bring us back to where we are right now. And so that's all I knew. So when she asked me to do what she asked me to do, I was like, well, then I better go get some learning. And I enrolled into International Doula Institute and got my certification. Didn't finish before she, of course, gave birth. but finished soon after that. And so I feel like every doula, if they think about what their origin story was and how they came to it, it's a powerful becoming. I talked about like this new role that we have, like lots of things rebirth us and lots of things give us new roles. I had already been a teacher for 15 years in higher ed. And that to me was a caring for children and a calling, which I didn't want to do, but I ended up doing. And then I went to higher ed, which was, I had said 20 years before I became a teacher that I would never do that because that was what my parents did. My parents were professors. Who want to do what their parents do at when you're young, right? And then I ended up being a professor. And then I was an herbalist, which I saw my love of herbs, but I never thought that I'd be like doing that in my spiritual work. So it's just like this continuum of things that have generally helped me to become. And I think that doula origin stories are powerful. And some doulas are supervillains. Like they might be needing to talk about their supervillain arc. But my supervillain arc is a doula who doesn't give good care, right? Who's just about their bag or whatever. But that doesn't make you a supervillain. But there are some supervillain doulas out there. So I think that we want to think about why we're in the game and how we started and what that means.
I think what you said is very interesting because I was like, sometimes I find like it's not sometimes. I think talking to other doulas about their origin stories and finding out, you find out so much about yourself. Because you may not know you are a supervillain. You may not even looking at it like that. You think I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm getting my bag and that's it. When you haven't ever heard of anyone else doing it, you're doing it off of your experience. Like doula for me is similar to Frank Ella. I was born into this. I was born into birth work. I got into, my grandmother was a healer. She was a nurse. I came from a lot of nurses. We have 2 midwives in our family. I was born of a midwife. So it was always part of who I was. And when I got into this work, I always wanted to be a midwife. My grandmother went to school to be a midwife and they told her she couldn't because she was Black. So she became a nurse.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
And so she went to the school in Gainesville for midwifery and they turned her away. And she became a nurse. And that always bothered me. I was a little bitty girl, maybe 3 or 4. I said, I'll be a midwife. I'll be a birth worker. Because in my mind, no one could tell me that my grandmother couldn't do something that was just infallible. And the Blake could move the world if she wanted to. So I got born into it. Didn't do it at first. Had my girls. And I was like, what's like a midwife, but not a midwife? Because I was already a nurse. And I found doula and got DONA certified. And I realized in that particular course, it was very whitewashed. It was about getting the bag.
Yeah.
It wasn't about community. And that's why I wanted to do it. And my trainer's like, oh, you're one of those chocolate milk mamas. I was like, what is that? What did you say to me? It's like, no. It's a group. It's doing that community stuff. And I was so insulted by that because of the rich, vast history that comes with birth working and storytelling and healing, especially in the South. That's what it was. And so to do that, that was why I did it. I did it because my first birth was amazing with a great Black doctor but under midwifery care. And my last one was horrible. So I was like, I'm gonna do this for my community. I'm gonna do this for my people because we deserve amazing care. And me understanding being a nurse and being a doula, I was like, I could look at it, it's like, hey, the Pitocina's not supposed to run like that. Come on, let's can you go over why? Can you show me the evidence-based why? And I felt like that was what set me apart. Because I worked in both fields, I worked both lines, and was raised around so many midwives, had so many midwifery friends, I could come into it and be like, okay, how do we move and do it that way? And, that's what did it for me and why I do it.
I know my grandparents, in the latter birth, my grandmother definitely went to the hospital down here, the Black hospital, because I don't think anybody was born into integration until maybe like the last 3. Everybody else was born during segregation here in Tampa. But on my dad's side, there was a tradition of medicine making. So that's where I'm coming into doula work. in this space of we do everything at home to care for our family and our children. So I didn't necessarily see births around me. Children definitely were considered because there were so many. I mean, my grandmother had 12 children. And when my other grandmother had 10, but they were all, my dad was the 7th. So all my uncles and aunts were old on that side. So I just had a lot of cousins. On my mother's side, I totally have the whole last branch of her brothers and sisters that don't get called uncle or aunt because we was in the dirt together. So
same.
Yeah, my joke is if we peed the bed together, you can't be called auntie.
Facts. We family. We cousins. Okay.
Like cousins, but
A lot of our families are like that.
yeah. So I didn't get a chance to see that traditional birthing culture. It was more like, there's just always new babies. We just always would get them and love on them, You
got the postpartum babies. So that's such an important part of it is you get to love up on them, hold up on them, or even the traditions you do for the moms. But you wouldn't know it to be that all the time. Sometimes you just, the mama's pulled in the kitchen with all the other women.
Yeah.
And you just telling stories and talking. And the little ones are the ones holding the babies. I know I was one of those. Like, here, take the baby. What? Okay.
I was one of those. Definitely one of those.
Same. Like a baby would just, I don't think that there's anybody in my family on my mom's side. And it always be your mom's side, right? Because that's who you're around the most. There's nobody that doesn't like babies. You will get handed a baby. Pretty much if a little small child was not around and somebody was looking for him, they would say, oh, so-and-so took him off a piece. So-and-so took him. They'd be back directly. Like they to the store, they that. Like that was not uncommon to the point where at my wedding, one of the children was missing in New York. And of course it's now New York, right? The stage has changed to New York. So everybody's freaking out. Where is he? Did he fall in the little pond in Prospect Park? I had my wedding in Prospect Park for those of you in New York, in Brooklyn specifically. And everybody was freaked out. And my brother came back. He had gone on an errand to the store. And my little cousin had wanted to go with him. And he took him and just never even thought to say anything because that's just what we do. So he just went.
Yeah, every family's like that. We've been in those situations because it's that trust. You have that, like, this is your people. It's a village. Everyone has the baby. Your baby belongs to everybody, baby. Yeah. But on that point, we're going to take a break right now for our music artist of the week.
My bad. I was emotional support tea, not coffee, but
I love it.
Good stuff. So we got an amazing blast artist. She's been with us for a while. Her name is Demi Day, and this is called Be Like You. Let's check it out.
Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you. I understand you got your own thing going. Merely on down the stream, you better keep on rowing. They try to knock your self-esteem, you better keep on glowing. Don't let nobody in between that future you be knowing. So here's my message to you. Ain't no person on earth that can outdo you. Be yourself until yourself. You'll be honored that you knew you. Only you can be a rock when it ain't no one else around. And if you don't love yourself, then the only way is down. But I believe in you. I see you got some dreams in you. Fools speed ahead, I see you got some steam in you. Just keep chugging away, be grateful for every day that you get to bless the world with such a beautiful face. Let your shadow make the chase, let your heart dictate the pace, let your mind give you the strength and let your spirit run the race. I bet your ancestors cheering, seeing the path you clearing. Nothing worth fearing, every lesson worth hearing. But every now and again they try to break you. Lean into them wounds even though they might be painful. And when they heal the scars, that's when you gon' see a breakthrough. I'm praying that you make do with every resource within your grasp. Multiply it forth and be generous with your math. Kindness in your hand, willing to understand that every single second you get is another dance. And every single moment you breathe is another chance to do something you love, to always rise above. Parting for the past, don't let that trauma beat you up. Be gentle with your mental and everything you done been through. End of the day, you're the reason I grabbed a pencil, so I could draw you up a motivational stencil. Tracing the inspiration, make way for the destination. Trust me, I can see all of the places that you're headed, and I'm here to let you know you ain't gonna never reach a dead end. Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you. Everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you.
And that is our girl Demi Day with Be Like You. And if you are an independent artist, a spoken word poet, or an up-and-coming comedian looking for some exposure, you can go to blastmusic247.com and register for free. But Blast is also looking for the fans. So if you're a fan of great music, you too can register at blastmusic247.com. Register as an unlimited fan and have access to hundreds of independent music. Blast, we're constantly changing the industry, one artist at a time. All right, ladies, back to you.
Thank you. If you guys are just joining us, welcome to Courtney. Today we're sitting here and we're talking about doula birth stories, and just why is that so important? And we were just talking with you guys about the changes of it and why these origins are important. Ladies, what did you guys think of the music today?
I had to go back to the 80s. That was dope.
I love it. It was such a vibe. It went so well. It was a vibe. I'm glad you guys liked it. Ladies, as we've been talking about like doula origin stories and how we've started and things like that, let me ask you guys, what is one of your most powerful doula stories for yourselves doing this work?
I want to say I had a client who she was just amazing, right? She was amazing. She had a son who was much older, and she was finally having her second baby. And we spent a lot of time together while she was in labor. She went into active labor, and I get to her house and we're doing the ball and the massages, and then, you know, sometimes labor stalls. We all know this. Labor stalled. We fell asleep. We were voting that year. Actually, it was we voted that year. I don't remember. It was 4 years ago.
Okay.
4 or 5 years. Yeah. So Biden was voted in.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we were voting that year, and it was actually, we had to go we were doing like early voting, and her labor had stalled. And I was so tired because I had been with her like the whole day. And I was like, I'm going to go home and get some sleep. And I'd suggest you do some walking. She lived in Harlem. She was like, we're going to go vote and, you know, all the things. So I go home, I rest, I come back. And she's like, oh, you know, she called the doctor, who's an amazing doctor, who's an amazing OBGYN in New York, Dr. Camilla Phillips. And just giving her a shout out because she really is. She's an amazing Black American doctor. and OBGYN in New York. And she takes the walk and she says, they're going to induce me. I said, well, do you want me to come for the induction? Because you know that always takes like long. We don't know if this. She's like, yeah, come. So I get to her house, and the moment I get to her house, this always makes me so excited. Her labor starts up again. And it doesn't just start up again, it ramps right into it. Like she lives in a walk up. We're like slowly walking down the steps, and she's having contractions between every 2 or 3 steps. And her husband were just like the most chill, amazing couple ever. We get to the hospital. She's like sitting on the ball. And then one of the moments she gets up, she's like, you have to take me to the bathroom because, you know, she's feeling like she has to poop. And we all know when that urgency of poop comes, what's happening. So we help her stand up, and guess what? Little Missy is coming on out fully in the sack.
Oh.
In the sack. I love that.
I love a call birth. They're so special.
I hope she's ready for the super spiritual baby that's on this planet that's really gonna turn their lives around. But yeah, that was my greatest birth. I still have pictures that come up on my TV and my Amazon photos of when they gave birth that day, because we got into that hospital and boy, that baby was ready. No induction, no anything. She was ready to come into this world when she was ready, because, you know, our children come when they're ready, not when we're ready.
So true.
Oh, shit.
So true.
I feel like my births are like my children. I don't have a favorite. I just have a favorite at the moment that I'm there. I'm like, this is my favorite right now. And then it don't be my favorite because the next one is my favorite too. So I want to highlight, I think, two very specific experiences that I continue to have across births. I think that would be an easier way for me to do it because they all my favorite. And for the most part, I'm still in contact with a lot of them, as happens in my life. People that I teach or whatever, like I tend to stay with them. Aya talked about the relationships that we build. Right? And when we're at our best, that's what we're doing, building relationships. As a matter of fact, I don't even take anybody for labor and delivery that I have not rendered another service to them. Like if I didn't talk to you about like your eating, or if I didn't spend time talking about like your exercise patterns or, you know, prenatal, like we're not even going to do this because we don't know each other. But the experience that I have that I continue to note are all the ways that women think that they know their bodies and how the birth is supposed to go, that it doesn't go. I'm very much struck by the way that spirit makes you come to know yourself through birth. And for me, a very primal moment is when women, I don't know, can I cuss on this?
We are always comfortable saying all the words on According to Courtney.
When women lose their shit during birth.
Yes.
When they stop understanding even why they're there and becoming even unable to answer simple questions. Because it's almost like they channeling is wild work to me in the best way. And I'm just there to observe it and watch it. And I'm very struck by that. And the last thing that I will say, because I honor all communities, but there's a very particular way that our society views fathers and their role in birth. And I really enjoy connecting with the men that I work with that are in partnership to the birthing mothers that I support, because they don't quite know what to do with themselves and they're awkward. And I like dismantling that awkwardness for and with them and helping them to feel like they belong. And I feel like that's a particular art and skill because of what they tell me they got out of it at the end. I always include them in very
That's so important and so needed, because it's not just about the mother, it's about the father too. And this is their moment having a baby. They're transitioning as people. She is physically, mentally, and spiritually, but you can watch the dads do it, especially when they get to be hands on. You watch them transform as fathers, and then also how they love their spouse.
And just real quick, I've had clients who, like, she's married to a woman, she has a wife. And so that's not at all to say that, you know, I'm not going to serve in the same way. But there's a way in society that women are taught to believe that they belong in birth.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easier when you have women supporting you for them to know what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Birth in some ways has always been about what we do together, at least facing society. Like, there may be a lot of things historically that have happened, or a lot of things that are going on behind closed doors that we don't get to know. But Black fathers very much get demeaned, vilified, and like kind of pushed to the edges. And I don't know, I had a really involved, excellent, great father. And I know that is just a wonderful, privileged thing to say. And so I've always seen that role as something that was to be edified, to the point where, you know, that book In Daddy's Arms, I'm Strong, that was written.
Mm.
Is that a Spike Lee joint? Was that his wife?
That's a
I
good
got,
question.
I got to look that. No, it might be Javaka Steptoe. Sorry, Javaka. I do actually know you personally, so I apologize for not remembering that was you. But I just revered that book and made sure that my daughter had it because she has an involved dad as well. And just the awkwardness of them not knowing how they're supposed to be in that space. I really like to support that and make them feel loved and safe.
I love that. That's so important.
Same. I
Mm-hmm.
like the fathers are there,
Yeah.
definitely, to allow them to be a part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's so
just
important.
in it. Even when one of my favorite comfort measures during labor is with partners is slow dancing.
Yes.
Thank you for bringing them comfort
Um,
measures up.
Yes.
I
I
love
love to have partners during labor slow dance because
Mm-hmm.
I think it's such a connection to the two of them who came together to create this life, and to be part of that all of that together, all of that oxytocin is great. And that's probably literally one of my, I love the ball for sure. I love the ball, but I love during active labor when the two together can slow down.
I love that. That really brings me to, so I've been doing this for 13 and a half years, and I've done over 200 births. And I think I agree with you, Tracy. It's hard to pick that one birth because you love them all for different reasons. But I'm gonna go off of what I really love about birth period is what you've mentioned, them coming together, the parents coming together in that moment that they have built their babies, and it's that slow dancing hip, they're whispering each other's ears, empowering the birthing person that you did this, and I thank you for what you're doing. I thank you for loving. I thank you for being here, and how beautiful that is. I can say for the Black fathers I dealt with, I have not dealt with one Black father who was not involved, who didn't hold her belly, who didn't walk with her, who didn't praise her, who didn't catch their baby. And if they didn't catch their baby, they were catching their spouses. They were in it. They were there. I have never had an experience that they're like, what can I do? Tell me what to do, but they will do whatever you ask. And just that awe and that glow of afterwards, any spouse with their partner, like, you did that. You see them in new eyes. That is my favorite part. And the transitioning of motherhood is so beautiful. and so powerful. And that's always my favorite part. It's just like the embodiment of power you're having to press on to give birth, and the beauty and the gentleness and the vulnerability of their partners to hold space for them, because you can tell sometimes the fear in themselves, but knowing they can't let their fear stop the process, but to embrace the process. That is always my favorite part, is that we can just help them transition into who they're meant to be, and watching them do it.
Can I correct, just so we are in the spirit of rightness? It's In Daddy's Arms I Am Tall, and it's various poets. The illustrator is Javaka Steptoe, and shout outs to Javaka. He's an amazing artist. You can see a lot of his work. I think he did Cinderella, like a Black reimagining of Cinderella. He's an amazing artist.
I love that. And yes, thank you for sharing that, so that people can go find it and go read it and have that part of their arsenal.
Yes.
Black children's books.
We're here for all of it.
Yes.
It's hard to see, but that is nothing but Black birth books, Black cookbooks, Black children's book. We just keep them on there all the time. It's just as it should
It's
be.
Black History Month, isn't it?
Yes, it is Black History Month. Ah,
Absolutely.
Which to me, all of the year is Black History Month, but
we Black all the time. We don't get, it may be a month for other people, but we live this, breathe this. And especially when we're dealing with Black birth work, our birth is different.
Mhm.
Every birth is beautiful, but our births are different. How we move with our births are different. And I'm so glad to be able to have had you guys in the space today to just talk about birth and talk about origin and the importance of, because it's healing. I felt that it was healing. It felt so like empowered listening to you guys. I'm like, it makes you want to breathe again. Like, this is why I do this.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us. This was so powerful. This is a side I don't always get to explore with IA. I'm humbled and floored to be in this space with you. You're so profound. I get to talk about this with Courtney a lot more than I get to talk about it with you. So thank you.
Thank you for having me in this space. By the way, I am IA. Frankella, aka IA.
No, we just
That's why I was like, who are we moving with in this space? Because it's like,
just so everyone knows. Yes. IA is my Yoruba name given to me when I was younger. But yes, I'm glad that I was able to be in this space. I miss talking about birth. I love birth. And although I'm a doula and I still work in corporate America, I do both. So, and I have the full 10 years I've been a doula, I've done both. So I know sometimes people ask, can you do both? You can. Because we are multifaceted Black women and we can. And yes, thank you for having me in this space. I really enjoyed being and just talking with the ladies that I love.
Oh, I love it. And it was so beautiful to talk birth with you in that space and getting to know you more in that intimate space. I feel like as birth workers, that's one of the most intimate parts of us is our birth work. So to hear people be like, oh, you just have a new profound respect and awe for them. It's like, yeah, I know always knew you were cool, but you're even super cooler now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Sure. That works. See, I'm multitasking right now. I'm like, I'm doing this. I'm in the moment. I'm reading and go over here. But so, ladies, if people want to find you and be able to reach out to you for birth services, Aya, you've been talking about, I don't know if I'm coming back. We know you coming back. So if people want to find you, how do they find you?
I am on social media. I'm on Facebook under my name, Frankella Auberry. I am on Instagram. My Instagram handle is @IA10. I am on TikTok as well. I'm not really sure. I think at I think it's at Auntie Aye. Aye is spelled AIYE. Yeah, check me out.
I love that.
And you can reach out to me. I do answer DMs and personal direct messages. Yes.
I love
I
that.
can be found.
You
So,
can be found.
Can
I
be
can
found.
be found.
Mhm. Wow, the social media thing. I'm learning to navigate it. But you can find me on my website, which is southernalchemywellnessllc.com for doula services. I also have a doula mentoring program. You will find it there as well. I also teach the herbs of pregnancy, and you will find that there as well. My Instagram is at Southern Alchemy Wellness. I am also on Facebook under Southern Alchemy Wellness, and soon to be starting on TikTok and YouTube, the metaphysical way. Sorry. So you will see me in the places I never thought I would be. Thank God for millennial children. So that's the metaphysical way, Southern Alchemy Wellness LLC. And if you would like to support my nonprofit, it's Southern Birthing Wellness. And you will find that also on my website.
I love it. I love it. So if you want to find me, besides coming to see me on According to Courtney, you can go to 3 Gems Birth Services, which is on my website. If I'm on Instagram as 3 Gems Birth Services, I'm on Facebook as 3 Gems Birth Services, also Courtney West 727. You can DM me. I am always open for questions, and I am actually open this year, and it's been a minute that I've done an open calendar for postpartum and birth services, along with placenta encapsulation and tincturing. So I'm so honored to be able to hold space with you guys. To my viewers, know that you are loved, you are seen, and you're heard, and you are healed. So until next time, you guys have a blessed one. Take care now.